Genesis chapter to verse 1. And so the whole universe was completed. Verse 2. By the seventh day God finished what he had been doing and stopped working. Verse 3. He blessed the seventh day and set it apart as a special day, because by that day he had completed his creation and stopped working. Verse 4. And that is how the universe was created. Verse 5. There were no plants on the earth, and no seeds had sprouted, because he had not sent any rain, and there was no one to cultivate the land. Verse 6. But water would come up from beneath the surface and water the ground. Verse 7. Then the Lord God took some soil from the ground and formed a man out of it. He breathed life-giving breath into his nostrils, and the man began to live. Verse 8. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man he had formed. Verse 9. He made all kinds of beautiful trees grow there and produce good fruit. In the middle of the garden stood the tree that gives life and the tree that gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad. Verse 10. A stream flowed in Eden and watered the garden. Beyond Eden it divided into 4 rivers. Verse 11. The first river is the Pishon. It flows round the country of Havilah. Verse 12. Pure gold is found there, and also rare perfume and precious stones. Verse 13. The second river is the Gihon. It flows round the country of Cush. Verse 14. The third river is the Tigris, which flows east of Assyria, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. Verse 15. Then the Lord God placed the man in the Garden of Eden to cultivate it and guard it. Verse 16. He said to him, You may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden. Verse 17. Except the tree that gives knowledge of what is good and what is bad. You must not eat the fruit of that tree. If you do, you will die the same day. Verse 18. Then the Lord God said, It is not good for the man to live alone. I will make a suitable companion to help him. Verse 19. So he took some soil from the ground and formed all the animals and all the birds. Then he brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And that is how they all got their names. Verse 20. So the man named all the birds and all the animals, but not one of them was a suitable companion to help him. Verse 21. Then the Lord God made the man fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took out one of the man's ribs and closed up the flesh. Verse 22. He formed a woman out of the rib and brought her to him. Verse 23. Then the man said, At last, here is one of my own kind, bone taken from my bone, and flesh from my flesh. Woman is her name, because she was taken out of man. Verse 24. That is why a man leaves his father and mother, and is united with his wife, and they become one. Verse 25. The man and the woman were both naked, but they were not embarrassed.